So the main content or the topic that we're going to be covering Unit 9 Learning Target 2 is stream discharge. Now, before we can talk about discharge, I wanted to introduce a couple terms along with that. Okay, gradient, again, is how steep something is, and we calculated that way back when we were in our topographic mapping unit. Gradient essentially is steepness. Now, directly connected to that is velocity. If it's a steep slope, it's a steep stream bed, that means the velocity is going to be faster. Okay. That largely affects competence. Now, that's something that you guys should have come across in your book work, but it's also something that we'll talk about more of. Okay, so velocity is how fast the water is going. That's directly connected to gradient. Now, the thing that's also directly connected to velocity is discharge. Okay, the faster the moving water, the more water there is able to flow through that area. So discharge is a measure of how much water moves through an area at a given amount of time. Moreover, we need to be able to calculate this number. Okay, so what we would have to do to calculate discharge is to find the cross-sectional area of the stream bed. Okay, so you look at, if you took a slice out of the stream and looked at the side view, it would be the cross-sectional area that the stream crosses. And then you also need to figure out the average velocity. Okay, simply put, and this is the equation for discharge, you need to take the area in square meters and you multiply that by the average velocity. Okay, typically speaking, it's in gallons per minute. Sometimes it's put into meters cubed per second or liters per second. But basically, you guys will get examples like this where you pretend each block represents a square meter. So if I go ahead and I count the number of blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I count 20 blocks. Okay, to calculate discharge, I take that 20 square meters because each block represents a square meter of the cross section. So I take 20 square meters and I multiply that by an average velocity of 1.3. The number I come up with there gives me something like 26 cubic meters per second. Okay, that's a discharge. Now, again, I got that by taking my 1.3, which is my average velocity, and I multiplied that by my cross-sectional area. Okay, now, you guys are going to actually be doing this on this website. This is going to be posted right below this video, actually, on Blackboard. Okay, or you can go to Google and you can Google virtual river. It's up to you. Okay, but what you're going to be looking at is this river discharge section. And so this will walk you through discharge as we work through a worksheet. Okay, now follow along, because up here it does say page whatever out of 25. Okay, I tip you guys and help you guys with what you should be filling out on your worksheet by using this numbering system. So page 2 of 25. I don't think I ask anything of you until like page 7 or 6. But you guys will be answering questions based off these numbers. Actually, I just looked, and the first question is, what is discharge? And it's on number 3. So you use page 3 to answer all of the questions under that number 3. Okay, now, the other thing, if you do get stuck on this, I have posted the answer key to your virtual river lab. This is not intended for you to copy and write down and pretend like you went through the activity. The activity is the purpose, okay, or getting through the activity is the purpose, not completing the worksheet. Because when you're done, your understanding is going to be checked by a quiz, not by whether or not you did the activity, okay, or not whether or not you copied down the worksheet. So be sure that you actually go through and get all through 25 of these. Again, I've provided a key in case you get stuck, so that you guys can have a little bit of help there, okay. Again, any questions, feel free to email me, but again, work through all 25 of these, fill out your virtual river lab 1 through, I believe the last one I actually asked you for is on number 16, so work through 1 through 16.